It's 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time, which means it's time for BCTV's weekly media roundup. I'm tonight's host, Roland Boyden, alongside Adam Hinckley, as we get ready to broadcast from the rooftops of BCTV's 230 Main Street studios for a Gallerywalk First Friday April edition here. Adam, thanks for joining me at the desk once more. Hang out, talk about some local headlines, tap the stylus, move the cameras around, all like that. Break it down for us on what's coming up on this here show.
On deck tonight, we'll break down this week's successful petition to send the municipal budget to a town-wide vote in Brattleboro. We'll also take you inside Representative Peter Welch's special town hall forum on sustainability and construction, and bring you the latest as the pace heats up under the dome in Montpelier.
Plus, as mentioned, it's Gallerywalk, so we'll take you to a live broadcast downtown, find out what events are going on in the region and more. If you've got the time and the attention span, we'll pack it all into 15 minutes. So stick with us right here. Got that stylus going on 545 Live.
All those in favor, please rise. You may be seated. All those opposed, please rise. You may be seated. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have adopted the budget as set forth in Article 19.
Welcome back to this April 4th, 2014 edition of 545 Live. That's footage of the waning moments of a nearly 2.5-hour long debate over the town budget, which faced proposed cuts as high as $600,000 at town meeting this spring, despite being passed in full, as presented by a wide majority at debates and last Saturday. And while most years a final vote from town meeting representatives would have sealed it for another year budgeting, a group of representatives have collected the required 50 signatures within the 10 days post-town meeting deadline to force a special town-wide vote to reconsider the town budget.
Now this week, town meeting reps, including longtime Finance Committeeite and one-time Select Board member Spoon Agave, were in this very municipal center to deliver to Town Clerk Annette Cappy the aforementioned signatures and thus return to the voters at large the choice to approve or deny the current municipal budget. And while the link to the controversial multi-million-dollar police fire upgrade project can be described only as unofficial, advocates of reduced spending are hoping a rejected budget will force the Select Board's hand when it comes to reevaluating elements of the upgrade project and how it's financed, something that gets a little tricky when it comes to who has authority over what here, as the current Select Board still lacks the authority to override the 2012 town meeting rep decision to approve the police fire project in full. Now, for more on the intricacies of the issue, which has been described as everything from buyer's remorse on the part of town meeting reps to Brattleboro's own form of class warfare, and many things in between, plus all muddied by the waters of a recent town-wide extensive charter revision, we now bring in town attorney Robert Fisher to explain what can and can't be done to reevaluate the police fire upgrade project.
If the budget were not approved, and the Select Board were saying, we think we should then not go forward with the police fire, the proper procedure for that would be for the Select Board on its own motion to call a special town meeting to rescind the bond vote, or the remaining bond vote, of a year and a half ago, the police fire.
For more on the proposed 1% option tax rejection at town meeting, any other budget issues, and all the interviews we've compiled here at BCTV, you can check it all out at BrattleBoroTV.org with full streaming video, which includes a two-part all-day Brattleboro representative town meeting extravaganza. You can find it in a special town meeting 2014 playlist. Again, it's on our video on demand at BrattleBoroTV.org. All right, into the latest feature to get the latest news. For more, I'll turn it back over to you, Adam.
Well, before we go any further in the script, it's time to throw it over to BCTV Operations Manager Vlas Popelka, whose second-floor office desk is transformed each week into the breaking news desk, as we turn it over to her to fill us in on any area headlines that may have broken in the hours between when our final script is approved and loaded into the teleprompter, and when we begin the live broadcast itself. So for the absolute latest in breaking news coverage, Vlasta, take it away.
Yeah, according to information from the town manager's office, the Vermont State Police are investigating as it's mandated by statewide protocol. There was a shooting and an officer was involved. Started today at 5:30 a.m. at Putney Road at America's Best Inn. Police department from Brattleboro are involved, but they are also state police. The portion of parking lot is cordoned off, and there are no more information at this point. There will be press conference held later on, so we'll keep you updated.
According to Brattleboro Police, there was an officer-involved shooting at roughly 5:30 in the morning on Friday at the America's Best Inn on Putney Road in Brattleboro. There's no more information from police at this time.
I'm here at America's Best Inn on Putney Road in Brattleboro, where we've heard reports that there's been a shooting. I don't have any more information other than that at the moment, but they've got the police tape up.
Thanks, Vlasta. Now, speaking of staying up to date on the latest breaking news, you can head to youtube.com/Brattleboro TV and subscribe to get all the latest web uploads from us here at BCTV as we put short clips up all throughout the week, then compile them together into this full 15-minute broadcast, which subsequently will also go up and be available to stream in full high definition again at that YouTube channel, youtube.com/Brattleboro TV. And of course, you can find all these links at our official website, BrattleboroTV.org.
Next up, controversy continues to brew in Putney over construction over proposed state park and ride that would add 84 parking slots for local commuters who stash their rides at the Putney Fire Station while commuting via public transit up and down the 91 corridor. Something that many local residents feel is a little excessive size-wise for a town like Putney, but something the town's own select board has been given little control over, as the state-based project destined for state-owned property has included limited options for public input, despite a visit to the district court to resolve some of the more controversial aspects, and the striking not one but two agreement revisions between the state and municipality.
Now, BCTV Tech Supervisor Extraordinaire M. Richards was on hand in Putney this past week to document the municipality's regularly scheduled board meeting, which included a park and ride agenda item, and with it, a heated contingent of local residents.
I'm going to take the blame for not letting everybody know this was going on, because when I got into the job, I was given a list of items that have been on the boilerplate for years. This was one of them. When the state called me to say, we want to put in a permit for the parking lot, I was like, all right, we're going to cross one of these things off the list. I mean, I was excited. I mean, I just, it was in my head that this was expected. Everybody was waiting for it. I had no idea that people were going to be so upset about it.
Next up, Representative Peter Welch was in town this week, continuing his series of public forums on sustainable buildings and green energy construction. And hardworking BCTV volunteer Maria Dominguez was there to gather footage of the lively debate over the government-backed financial options for the rapidly growing practice of sustainable construction.
The one area in Washington where there is some promise really comes, it's in energy efficiency. That's the one area where I'm finding that I can get real success in cooperation with some of my Republican colleagues who don't believe in climate change, but they do believe in saving money.
Next up, members of the House Committee on General Housing and Military Affairs voted 6-2 in favor of raising the state's minimum wage from $8.73 an hour to $10.10 an hour. And while that dollar amount matches an Obama-backed initiative proposed by Governor Peter Shumlin last month, the committee challenged the governor's 2017 deadline for implementing the increase, proposing the House Appropriations Committee that the state prepare to roll out the new wage as early as January of 2015.
I don't see the House bringing back an offer without indexing, and the Senate doesn't seem to be interested in having a conversation at all about it outside of a constitutional amendment context. But because hope springs eternal, I think I will recess the conference committee today instead of adjourn it, and hope that we might get into a more constructive phase of negotiations than we have been so far.
The proposed minimum wage increase, officially listed in the docket as H.552, heads next to the House Appropriations Committee, where it's expected to face substantial support. All right, moving on. Check in with Reformer reporters and photographers from the field on the go as they report with the Reformer's official tout.com channel, tout.com/BrattReformer, where we ourselves here at 545 Live like to check in on area news all in the form of 10 to 50-second clips uploaded by those aforementioned photographers and reporters. For our latest check-in, we're going to see the post from Howard Weiss Tisman this week on the Brooks House renovation constructions as he checked in with one of the Masabi LLC investment group founders and project leaders, Bob Stevens. Let's take a look.
So up here you can see the structure above us. Sheetrock's up. They're not quite ready to paint, and but they're not far behind either. All the mechanical and stuff is insealed. Renovations over the years, everything had been modified and patched, but not necessarily patched well, and we found them all. Broken joists, and so there's been a lot of restructuring.
Before we say adieu for good to this edition of 545 Live, let's check in with the weather, courtesy of BUHS TV, the high school's morning news advisory broadcast team up there. They're taking a look at what's coming up for this here Saturday, Sunday weather as we head on into spring. Guys, take it away. What's this here weather gonna look like?
And tomorrow's going to be partly cloudy with a high of 48 and a low of 29. And on Sunday, high of 57 and a low of 31. Back to the desk.
Just a few things to wrap up here on this Gallerywalk First Friday edition of 545 Live as we'll send it downtown where 545 Live correspondent Daryl Pillsbury is standing by as things begin to heat up at Gallerywalk. Daryl, we're trying to go into the split screen here. Now take it away. What's it looking like down there? Spring Gallerywalk and all.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. We're live right down here at the April Gallerywalk, and it's just now getting started. They're setting up the tables now. A little breezy, weather's nice. If you're watching this at home, folks, come on down. It's our Gallerywalk night. A lot of stuff to do. It should be pretty festive here. So anyway, come on down, see what's happening. Food, fun, all sorts of good stuff. For 545 Live, this is Daryl Pillsbury. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Daryl, thanks for checking in here. We'll get that full quality broadcast here right now. It's just coming to us through Skype, but we are catching the full video there. Now, speaking of things going on with Gallerywalk, we've got a way to find out about all area events, including Gallerywalk themed events. That's BCTV's interactive video calendar, sponsored by the Brattleboro Savings and Loan, hosted by yours truly, and it's something we'll take a peek at right now. Now, as we move ahead in the calendar here, we're going to check in with Saturday, April 5th, and the Bowl for Kids event. This is a fundraiser for Youth Services of Windham County and their Big Brothers Big Sisters program. Involves getting a bowling team together, fundraising, and then having a day of fun from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Brattleboro Bowl here in Brattleboro. For more, we've got a spotlight video.
This is just maybe a kid again and being able to play with Curtis and having fun with him.
It's a great opportunity to spend with children.
I think it's really fun to, have a little sister, especially when you don't actually have her.
Week, so.
We're going to move on and talk another Saturday event here in another good area organization. This one is Beaks Salamander Soiree. That's right, the Bonnie Mile Environmental Education Center's annual celebration this year is themed around spring migrating amphibians.
Each spring, spotted salamanders, wood frogs, and other amphibians migrate to their breeding habitat. Superimposed upon this ancient world, however, is a newer world of roads and cars. Here's where you come in.
That does it for our April 4th edition of 545 Live. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Chair recognizes Mr. Gardenstein.
I wasn't ready. It was out of order. I'm sorry if I'm out of order. I move that the town assess a 1% local option sales tax in accordance with 24 VSA Section 138.
Is there a second? Is there discussion? I don't see it. Are we ready for the question?